solo drop spots to squad drop spots and even competitive drop spots. Today, I'm going to be showing you all the best loot paths to take in the brand new season of Simpsons. Hit that subscribe button and comment down below your favorite drop spot. On to the first drop spot. For our first drop spot, I'm going to be taking you guys to the right side of the map. Just next to the nuclear power plant, you will find this island. This drop spot is going to be great for solos, duos, and even potentially squads. Over here, there is 16 chests that spawn on the island alone, and that's not even the best part. Now, when approaching this drop spot, there is two different ways you can take. If you are getting contested, I definitely recommend that you, or maybe you and your teams, drop at the houses. This is obviously where you're going to get the loot. If you would like the best chance at loot, this house right here contains 6 chests. So this is definitely the most stacked. Second most stacked is this one right here. This house here contains 5 chests. And then finally, this one here with 3 chests. However, if you're not getting contested and you want to get some early shield, we actually have a slurp truck to get you started. Obviously, if you mine this and all your teammates around, you'll get to full health straight away, which means you can save those shield and health items for later in the game. This is also a great way to protect yourselves if there is another team that comes in late, as you might be getting people from Burns Manor or even the nuclear power plant if they get kicked out of their spot. Another great part about this is if the zone does pull just like it has right now, you do have some extra time to farm up. There is a lot of hedges around, big rocks like that, and of course you can move as well. As I said, there is Manor up there, which is actually not a bad location to drop at. If you run up there and get the chest up there, usually it isn't too contested. Also, if you do get contested off the bat, you do have the chance to reboot your teammates straight away, so you don't have to reboot them ages away. No one really knows about this spot yet, so definitely utilize this while you can, especially in the ranked game modes, because in solo and duos, this is going to be vital. 15 chests for you off the bat, and the chance to get full shield as well is insane. If you do want to take it even crazier, you can go over to these poles. They're on both sides of the island, and you can fish as well. Otherwise, you can rotate straight down this road here, but I would potentially go off to the left towards Burns Manor. I feel like going between here, you're going to get sandwiched depending on which way the zones are coming. And one of the disadvantages of this spot is there is a lot of high ground around, so you do want to watch out for that. However, this spot is definitely going to be found very soon, so definitely make the use of it now. But lucky for you guys, in drop spot 2, I have found a spot that has 18 chests, and it is smaller than that location. Let's get into it. So for drop spot 2, as I said, there is 18 chests at this location, and it is even smaller than the last location I just showed you. This obviously means you do have plenty of room for your squad to go here with 18 chests to get you started, at least off the start of the match. This is located down here at the bottom of the map at this little here area. The greatest thing about this too is you can split up your teams if you would like. There is 4 chests that spawn at this island right here, and then of course you have this house in front right here. Now the house only spawns 3 chests, with 1 spawning here as well. Over there I said there was 4 chests as well, and a slurp truck, but over here of course 18 chests. Now if I was landing here myself, I would definitely land over this side because this is where most of the chests are located. However, they are pretty evenly stashed, so you can go anywhere you want. The good thing about this area too is you will be able to find a lot of slurp barrels as well, so that will definitely get you some early shield. But as I said before, there is a slurp truck right there, so your teammates can loot up really quickly here if you would like, and if you want to dip and go over to that slurp truck straight away, you definitely can. You can either swim over, or you can get one of these cars that spawn over here. Another great thing about this is it does have a reboot for itself too. Even though it's not a named POI, it does have a reboot van. In terms of maps, that is the only downside about this place. Yes, there is all these buildings and stuff you can do, but in terms of shrubbery around, there's not really a whole lot until you move out a bit. As I said, there is 2 different ways you can rotate out of this if you don't decide to split up. You can either choose to go down the waterway or along the road and get all these chests here in this, and also the shield in there. Or there is the second way you can go. You can go straight out of here up to the house, where I said there is about 4 chests. There's 3 in the house, and then there's 1 in that truck there. You are close to a pretty good POI in terms of no one going there. This of course is Corruption Corners, which a lot of people don't seem to go there at the moment. Also, just a side note, I don't know if this is a glitch or something, but I'm pretty sure this was called Mayor's Munchies before, but it seems like they may have changed it to Corruption Corners. I don't know. But regardless, you can pick up an extra 13 chests here, which realistically isn't that great, but that is why a lot of people don't come here. But maybe you want a bigger challenge. Maybe you want to land at a POI. I'm going to show you the best POI with the most amount of loot, but there is only one drawback. Now, obviously in this season, we got a smaller map. We only have a total of 9 POIs, but one of them stands out completely to me, and that is Cletus Cornhole. This location alone spawns over 80 chests. And the even better thing about this is a lot of bosses tend to spawn here. Now, obviously bosses are a random chance, but a lot of the games that I have landed here, they have had bosses. If you guys don't know, there is a boss that spawns in the first zone, another one in the second, and another one in the third zone, but they are just randomly put around the map. Now, when landing here, I think there's 3 possible locations you should drop, especially if you're coming in as a duo and you want to stay with like one house. Firstly, you have this house right in front of us. This house has 6 chests in it. However, it is right in the middle of zone. Next, you have this red barn that I'm standing on top of. This has 5 chests inside of of it, but it does have a chest right here and also right in the corner over there. So technically you can get 7 chests from there. And finally, you have this L-shaped house. Now this house spawns 6, but I recommend actually landing here. Of course, those two are pretty much in the center of the POI. So anyone landing at these little shacks over there, and moving in, they're going to be able to take you out. And there's kind of nowhere you can go either. As you heard before, I said there was a lot of downsides to this POI. And one of them is definitely the lack of places to hide. I mean, there is no structures around these 2 houses right here at all to hide behind. Now, obviously, if you're in builds, you do have builds, but you are lacking in builds off the start of the map. But when it comes to 0 build, this could be crucial. So I do recommend landing at this place. Now, there is 3 chests that spawn on this wing and then 3 that spawn on this wing. So if you're dropping as a duo, definitely 1 person there and then 1 person here. But the greatest thing about this is you can move easily and freely to all these other locations, and even there's usually a car that spawns here, so you can get out of here if you really need to. It was kind of hard choosing a POI to show to you guys. Obviously, this one has a lot of chests in here, and it is a pretty good spot to land, with only the drawback being there's not really a lot of natural cover. Definitely some honorable mentions when it comes to POIs that you could land at. Donut District isn't too bad. It just has under 50 chests, and it doesn't really get contested too much. And of course, just as I said before, Corruption Corners is also a great spot, especially if you're landing here where you can get those 18 chests straight off the bat. In terms of everywhere else, there is pros and cons to everything. Of course, you have the nuclear power plant where you can get yourself some movement and go far. You have the Springfield town where you can get the medallion. You have Springfield Slurpworks, which is further off the map, but you do get like 30 chests there, and it probably isn't contested as much. Plus, you obviously get access to a lot of shield off the bat. Burns Manor is an interesting one. There is a few chest spawns there. It's kind of a bit of a weird place. I don't really enjoy it. There's a lot of chests outside of the building and inside, but I suppose if you're dropping as a squad, it wouldn't matter too much. You can kind of just take over and control the whole point. Evergreen, while there is actually a lot of chests here, and it is a beautiful POI, it is honestly a clutter. There is so many houses there that people can hide in, and it kind of just feels weird. Every time I go here, I loot on the backside here at these 2 houses or the one down here, and by the time I'm moving up, there's just hectic everywhere. There's people moving in from different POIs. These guys are absolutely stacked. They've got like these 5 houses here, and then we get destroyed. It's just a pain in the butt. But there you have it. Some good spots for competitive, obviously some good spots for squads, and of course solos and duos. If you want to see some full in-depth loot paths videos, I will definitely do them for you. Obviously, this is just to showcase the drop spots themselves and kind of give you a gist of them. But hopefully you got something out of it and you learned something new. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and of course, make sure my code's in your item store. We are doing battle pass giveaways still, so if you want to enter in, you got to do those steps.